setting up?
Yep.
Could you put the groups up, please?
Oh, you're not in period 7. Here you go. 3. Wherever 3 is.
Where are you putting that?
Okay, so yesterday we started use substitution, and as I said, it's a 3-day thing, and I am on the wrong time zone. I sent an email yesterday that I was training the lessons for Thursday and Friday, thinking that yesterday was Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, so I don't need to train anything. So we'll go over homework questions on Thursday, and I just really need winter break to be here now because I'm just glad. Sorry. Okay. You still have a quiz planned for Thursday next week, and I have, yeah. Frank, don't give me that look. I'm not crazy, and I have a piece of paper to prove it.
Oh, wow.
Students always hate that one, they're like, are you kidding? You'll never know. Okay. In the end, one of these you will never learn how to integrate in here. One of them we can do with use substitution that we learned yesterday, and one of them we will learn next week. Which one can we do now with use substitution? This table says number 2. And another table says number 2. Oh, now you're all just sheep, and you're like, yeah, peace zone. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, go.
I also think it's
Okay, why? What would you choose as the U value?
I said I would choose Rex.
So my hint for choosing the U value was the thing in the denominator from the denominator. The argument of the function, so maybe x squared, because that's the argument of the function. Or maybe the thing being raised to a power, which that would just be x. So, and there are other things as well, but,
Oh, X squared.
and I,
Because, because the derivative of X squared is like this.
so then, 6th period, I finally thought about it and was like, oh. The 4th thing is, do you see the derivative of something sitting around, like nearby? Well, the derivative of x squared is 2x, so yeah, the u value is the argument of that cosine. In doing this u substitution, let's translate everything. So this becomes cosine of u, and I have left to translate 2x dx, which is exactly du. So Julia, whose derivative is positive cosine? Positive sine? But I wanted things in terms of x, so I am gonna put back in that. Cool. We cannot do number 1. Sorry, we'll still need that. Here's my concern. You guys are gonna be like, oh, whose derivative is positive cosine, positive sine, and then you're gonna divide by 2x, because that's the derivative of x squared. But we don't have the derivative of sine, first of all, in there anyway. Like, Like, this is all kinds of bad. If you're wanting to be like, oh, do this and then divide by stuff that has X's in it or are functions, it's so totally not okay. You gotta use substitution. If the use substitution isn't working out, you need to do something else. Okay. There's that. Love this one. So try this as a warm-up. What is the U value? Pretend there are no numbers on it for a moment. Just integrate it. By U substitution. What's the U value? And X squared. Just X squared? The entire denominator. Okay, so translating, this stuff becomes U. What I have left is X dx. Solving for X dx, I have 1/2 du. And Roman, what's the integral of 1/u? Real bars. And then translating back, that's 1/2 ln x squared minus 9 plus c. Okay? All right, but now I need to go back and answer the question that was actually written. Are you guys okay with that? Okay. Sure, good. The way the problem was written, however, I said 0 to 2. So here's how that changes things. Translating again, like I did a second ago, 1/2, 1u, du. But now I have another thing to switch. I have bounds on there. And this is from x value 0 to x value 2. So I used to do contracts with NASA, and we would take our data, and the miles per hour have to change to kilometers per hour. So if you give them stuff in terms of kilometers, and you're still saying, well, at mile marker 0 and mile marker 2, that does not translate in terms of kilometers at all. So I need to change these bounds. So when x is 0, looking at my definition of U, what is the U value? -9. Okay. So x bound 0 became U bound -9. And Sebastian, when x is 2, what is the U value?
-5.
-5. All right. So Jason, what's the integral now?
1/2 ln absolute value.
Evaluated from -9 to -5, and now it is important that we have those absolute value bars, yeah.
Could you not just plug in the original value of for u and then do it with the x terms?
I'm going with no. Because, all right, so he's asking, can I just do this use stuff and then put x's back? First of all, I need numbers on these bounds, and if you leave them as x values in, this is in terms of you, your statement is wrong. Like, if I was an engineer and I picked this up here and you had x numbers, we would lose satellites, and let me tell you, we have. We have. And then there are times that you don't need to revert, you do all the work to translate, move forward. And I believe I have an example to give some incentive for that in a minute. So Cameron, how do I plug things in?
Looking at it.
Okay, so which number goes in first? So we have the integral 1/2 natural log of absolute value of u to be evaluated from -9 to -5. So absolute value of -5, we can put in a 5. Oh, and then what do I say? Okay, yeah. You will never see this on multiple choice. How do you think they might give you the answer? Ray, what do you think?
ln5 or 1/2 ln5 minutes.
That could be one of them. Does anyone have another thing, way they might write it? Sita?
ln root 5 over 3.
Ooh. So all those things are possible. So those of you who think, oh yay, the multiple choice is gonna be easy. They have ways to just make it sheer torture. Yay! I can see the joy on everyone's. Okay, so there we go. So there's a difference. When we did the integration first, we had plus c, because we didn't have any bounds on that. Now I don't have plus c, I need to plug in the values. And don't revert back to x. Okay, there are bounds on it, so give that a try. Just checking, can you guys write on the whiteboard what you're choosing as the U value? There are options, different options that are valid.
like it's like whatever.
They're the same person.
Any other options?
Wait, no, it's not scientific. If you copy, that's what you create. Wait, why'd you change it? It's your art payment.
What do you have? Big and complicated. So I saw 4 choices. Did anybody finish yet and like feel like it worked? Like doing the translation? What's the derivative of tangent? Okay, so if I did u to the third, I have du right there. So this one will work. If I do secant, what's the derivative of secant? Secant tangent? So I'm not sure how that translates nicely. Did this one work to turn it all in terms of u business? If I take one of the secants to get u, I have tangent squared u, which is unfortunate. So I'm not sure secant works. I use tangent cubed. Multiply by the power, lower the power. And then derivative of tangent. Okay, that's interesting. If I translate that, I get tangent x times 3 du. Not sure that one works. Derivative of secant squared. Multiply by the power, lower the power, and then multiply by the derivative of the stuff inside. I think only the top one works. So using the top one, go from there. You done? Okay, good. How do I do the this business?
Oh, well, first you take 0 and you put it into 10x and you get 0 pound.
Okay,
For the
so
balance.
when x is 0, you're saying the u value is what?
0.
Okay, not an interesting modification, okay, and when x is pi over 4?
U is 1.
Another motivation, 0 and 1 are nicer numbers than 0 and pi over 4. I will convert you. Okay, so, but what about the arguments in here?
So then you take u cubed du. And then you integrate. Oh, alright. 1/4 u to the 4 evaluated at 1, 0. And then that's 1/4 times 1 minus 0. 1/4.
Easy peasy. You agree? Stella? Sure. That's totally the, I disagree with you, kind of sure.
I was like, why do we do this when you could just like plug the numbers in and do it like that?
What do you mean, plug the numbers in?
Like put the x back in and then just like
Okay, so as I said, okay, tell you what. Because it will cost you in your grade, that's the only thing that you guys care about. Because right here, if you leave these as X values, and even if you translate it all back and get the right answer in the end, if this phrase right here, if you have pi over 4 here, that's wrong. You're gonna tell me, here's this data in terms of kilometers per hour, and use the X mile marker, it's wrong. You will lose satellites, you will kill people. Badness? No. I will take off if you do this, even if you get 1/4 as your answer in the end. So sorry, my engineering background and my safety critical systems and engineering jobs, I will not let that fly. Yep.
Did you plug KNX back in for you?
Nope, I didn't need to. And the reason I did not need to was Roman went through the trouble to say, well, 0 and pi over 4, when I translated those miles to these kilometers, that became 0 and 1. So in terms of X, I was 0 to pi over 4. In terms of U, I went to 0 to 1. And because he did that, he did not have to go back to tangent.
Will
Yeah.
it work if I plug you back and like use the 0 and pi over 4?
If you go all the way, like you have these U values and then you go back and you take this simple to plug in 1 to the 4th and 0 to the 4th, and if you insist on making it be back in X values, it's a waste of time. It introduces more spaces to make mistakes. If you go back to X and plug in X values correctly, that's okay. And again, it's a waste of time, introduces places to make mistakes. What?
Kind of like tangent back in.
Try this one. I predicted your irritating question. Do this.
I just did the also
So, one person, 2 persons are choosing 4 plus R squared as the U value? Yes. Okay, so I hear a number of you, I said just 0. So this becomes U squared, and then I'm gonna put the 5 out front, and translates to 1/2 du. And Roman said, but the bounds are the same because I translated my X values into U values. So he's like, so I don't even need to integrate it, I can just go 0. Those of you who don't, take that.
I did it correctly.
wording. Do I need to worry if this is gonna go negative anywhere and make that negative area positive over the bounds that they are requesting? Or not? Is it ever negative?
No.
From 1 to 3 and squared stuff about never negative, so all good, don't need to worry about it. Did I do something wrong yet? Got the 1/2? I knew it would. You won't see this on multiple choice, what do we gotta do? Do 1/2 ln5, which is the likely options, but they might bring that coefficient in as a square root. Yeah? Okay, we have a little bit of time. Someone wanted to do a question or two from the homework today? Yes? Yes, no? I have more stuff. Oh, yeah, Amelia. 21. This 21? All right, what are we gonna pick as the U value? Cosine 2t plus 1 or cosine 2t plus 1, the whole thing squared? Because now it's dicey. Like, the derivative of sine is cosine and vice versa. I said pick the denominator, but do I pick the entire denominator or the thing
Just argue.
just 2t plus 1? This is why you need to do the practice, there's a feel for it. If I pick this, du, derivative of cosine is negative sine, chain rule. Okay, so I have sine 2t plus 1 up top. Translating. That's u, so I want that squared. Sine 2t whatever is negative 1/2 du. raise the power from -2 to -1, and multiply by the power, or divide by the power, whatever, changes the sign, and a plus C. So this is 1/2. Okay.
I got the same answer, but I did 2t plus 1.
You just did 2t plus 1?
Yeah, well, I got C, 2t plus 1 over 2 plus C. It's just not something else.
Secant 2,
Because it's cosine inverse, how much multiplying by.
I'll have to look and see how you did it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at 13, that's kind of tonight's thing. I have a worksheet for you guys to do now that will coerce you into the use substitution, tee-hee. But also, I will hand back your tests, and there is a redemption option on Delta Math. You can get a few points back on the test, because some of you just missed the mark on fundamental theorem of calculus, and again, the word fundamental is a thing, and if y'all don't get the fundamentals, you're just screwed. So, interims are due Friday for me, so this assignment, I'm telling you it's due Thursday night, but if you're up in the wee hours of the morning, it's technically closes at 8 in the morning on Friday, so it's not really open on Friday. And the point is, I need to get those grades from that assignment and in before interims. That's why I can't have it due later on Friday. So I apologize for the timing, but it's a gift of an assignment anyway. So, there's that out there. I will hand out, or I will have someone else hand out. Thanks for volunteering. You did volunteer.
Looking down at his paper, like, see the camera.
Ms. Moscow,
Yes.
after you come back into us, can you look at what I did for 21? I did the same thing as Michael.
Okay.
I just want to make sure like it works.
Okay. All right, the worksheet that you're getting now is a circuit training use substitution thing, and you might have to be creative with some translations and modifications.
Did you choose 13 or more?
No.
Yes.
I had to like search up some help, and I was like, what is that?
Yeah, still wants to see you, so. Sorry, Claire, just a second. I'll leave that. It's forever tonight. Sorry. Stand by.
there's like something else.
That's actually the best.
Oh, no.
Wait, we get 2 points.
Oh my
That exact piece.
Just 2. What was wrong with 3?
Guys, question from the test, they're like, what's wrong with this one? The integrals, you cannot pull them apart by multiply. The integral of x squared plus 1, that is equal to the integral of x squared plus the integral of 1. Multiplying does not work. And to prove it to yourself, pull x squared apart. The integral of x squared is x cubed over 3 plus c. The integral of x times the integral of x, not that. Okay. Sita and Michael, you guys, you chose your u value for 21 to be
2t plus 1.
I did not.
What'd you do here?
Like tangent and
Yeah.
times 1 over cosine.
And then it transitions to.
Okay. Many more steps involved in the thought process, but yeah, okay. Yep. So, other questions? Oh, yeah. In context of the question, what are the units? This was my way of checking, did you actually follow the tips on those student level practice, level 2 practice questions? And a lot of you clickety just rushing on through. When it says in context of the question, what does this mean? It means you need to give a noun, what are you talking about, the units, and a time measure. So I believe there are many versions out there. But, so part B for the Tyler Swift, Taylor's much less popular cousin, the answer is at 5.5 minutes, at 5.5 minutes, the rate at which the people waiting online is increasing per minute is 28/3 people per minute. Like, the rate that they are waiting in line is increasing at yes, it's people per minute, but no, you need all the other stuff. Tom says it just gave you a measure, but in context of what it means. Some people were telling me that square per minute.
You get this, like, actually, you get it actually wrong.
You didn't get all the coordinates you added on it.
Yeah, I just wrote down the number.
You're laughing, but you're probably gonna get the same semester grade as well, that's it.
Claire, I finished it.